Hello, Kuna here, and today I'm doing a review on a mod called Kinda Hungry. Now this is a food-based mod, and it adds lots of different food types into the game that are made from the vanilla items. Now every single one gives you a special effect that ranges from being OP to being just fun to play around. Now this mod adds 52 different new food types into the game, with one new structure and two new blocks. So the structure is this. It's a small structure and it contains a chest which gives you some random food types from the mod. And the two blocks are the brick and the brick wall. Now we're gonna start with the Nautilus shell, oak sapling, brick, flint and steel, and stick. Now the Nautilus shell attracts passive mobs towards you, and there you go. It doesn't work on hostile mobs such as this husk, but it only works on passive mobs, and it gives them the slow falling effect, so that if they fall off the cliff, they won't die. So if you stay here and keep eating this, as you can see, the chicken is falling really slow. It's because it has the slow falling effect. Now that's a really simple one. The cooked oak sapling, I mean, it's kind of clear what it does. If you eat it, it will grow a tree at your position. It will plant a sapling and try to bone heal it. So it means if you are in a contained area that a tree cannot grow, it won't grow. It'll just place a sapling, try to bone heal it, but it won't work. Now we have cooked brick. When you eat cooked brick, you get the bulky effect. Now what this does is that when you right click mobs, it will go into the ground, and you just keep doing that until they just suffocate and die, which is very useful if you're fighting hostile mobs. Now the next one is flint and steel, which is kind of obvious. When you eat it, you will get the hot fingers effect. That means when you attack entities, they will catch on fire, and it will work on any type of entities as long as it can catch on fire. The next one is cooked stick. Now, if you eat cooked stick, you get a new item called the stick spike. So if you put this down, it will damage any entities that walks over it. Now, we're done with all these. We're gonna have cooked bone meal, cooked saddle, cooked chest, cooked membranes, cooked coal, and leather. Now, what all these do, cook bone meal. When you eat it, you will get the green thumb effect, which means if you shift on grass, it will bone meal it. So any grass, dirt that can be bone meal, you can try to get like flowers, grass, and stuff like that. It won't work on sapling or trees though, so you can only use it to decorate or get flowers. Now the cooked saddle, when you eat it, you'll get a yeehaw effect, and which means you can ride any mob. So it's passive, it's aggressive. You can just sit on the other mobs and not control them because you don't have the actual item. Next one is the chest. Now you're gonna have to have one free slot in your inventory with leftover room. So it's 9 slots and only 1. So you can use this to expand your inventory space, and it's really cool for inventory management. The next one is cooked membranes. Now this one is one of the OP ones. When you eat it, you get the belief effect, which means you have creative flight. As long as you have the effect, you'll have creative flight, you will take no fall damage, and you can just fly around as much as you want. The next one is cooked coal. When you eat coal, you get a new item called hot coal. You will stay on fire as long as you have this item in your inventory. As soon as you get rid of it, the fire will go out. Even water won't put out the fire. You will be safe in water, but after the second you get out, you will start burning. So as long as you have this in your inventory, you will burn. Even if you die from it, you will still be on fire. So you just have to get rid of the item, and you're fine. Now we have leather. When you eat leather, it will teleport you to the closest cow. So if you want to find a cow for a farm or for milk, it's very useful. Next up we have cooked ender pearl, bottle enchanting, beetroot seed, bucket, water bucket, and lava bucket. Now, the Ender Pearl has a really unique ability. So you can stand on any block, eat it, and it will save your position on that block. Then you get an Ender Chip. You can eat this Ender Chip anywhere and it will teleport you back to your spot. And it will consume the Ender Chip. So you can basically use this to save your location, go anywhere on the world, and then teleport back there immediately, which is very useful. Now, we have Bottle of Enchanting. When you eat it, it will give you one level. It doesn't matter what level you're at, it will give you one full level. So it can be very OP when you're at really high levels and you're trying to get more XP. Now, Cooked Beetroot. When you eat this, you will get the Cooked Beetroot Seed effect, which means if you have a hole, you can hold ground, and if you right click again, it will plant one beetroot seed, which means you can just generate beetroot seed all you want. Next up, you have the Cooked Lava Bucket, Water Bucket, and the Normal Bucket. Eating the Lava Bucket gives you the ability to place down lava sources by just right clicking the ground. So you just right click anywhere and place down one lava source. Now doing the same thing with the Water Bucket gives you the same ability. So you eat the Water Bucket, you get the barfing water effect, and you can just place down water sources by right clicking the ground. Now, eating the cooked bucket gives you the ability to clean up everything you've left behind. Right clicking the ground will place the sponge for just a second to clear out any water sources that are around. Now, this ability can be really useful clearing out rivers or even an ocean mine. Now we have to cook carrots, cocoa beans, fire charge, redstone, feather, and pumpkin. Now, eating the pumpkin gives you the spooky and scary effect, which means if you hit any mob, it will get a pumpkin on its head with Curse of Binding. Now, cooked feather, when you eat it, it will give you the lightweight champ, so whenever you sneak, it will just float up. Now, this can be done as long as you have the effect, and you do take fall damage, so that's the thing to keep in mind. Also, when you're doing this, you cannot move like at all, basically, because you're shifting and you're in the air. Now, next one is the cooked redstone. Now, this one is kind of dangerous to mess around with, so you want to have a water bucket on you because it's gonna get kind of dangerous. Now, when you eat it, you will get the bad sneeze effect. So, when you right click the ground, you will put down this block, and this block can spread around as long as you're near it, and you will take damage if you're inside the block. Now, the more bigger it gets, the more damage it does when you're inside or even around it. Now, the only way to remove it, as you can see I can't break it, the only way to remove it is to place down a water bucket on top. So the flowing water will destroy the block and it's free. But if you leave it be, it will start spreading around and it's going to be a pain to remove. So you better always have a water bucket. Next one is the cooked fire charge. When you eat it, it will shoot a big fire charge. You will catch on fire yourself, it will destroy blocks and put down a lava source. So you might want to be kind of careful playing around with it. The next one is baked or cooked cocoa beans. When you eat it, you will place down a chocolate block. When you're inside of it, you will get regen effect, and you can break it with your bare hands. So this block can be really useful for farms or anything basically. You just place it down, get some regen, and pick it back up. The next one is cooked carrot. Now, eating it gives you the pig whisper effect. I thought this would make pigs follow you, but it really doesn't. And I mean, it seems kind of useless, the effect, but if you feed it to a pig, it will turn into a tamed pig. You can ride it, and it's basically a horse. So it's quite fast, and you can just go around with it. You can climb blocks, but you cannot jump. So that's the downside of the pig, but it's really fast. And also you don't need a carrot on a stick. Now we have the cooked scoot. Now, if you eat it, it will give you the Teenage Mutant effect, which gives you 2 extra hearts. Now you can keep eating this until you have 24 hearts. That's where it stops. And you get to keep the effect for around 8 minutes. Next one is the cooked large fin. Now, if you eat this, you'll get the planter effect. So if you shift right click, it's on a big fern. Now, this big fern will fight for you if you attack it. It's basically a wolf. So if you attack him up, it will attack it. Next one is the cooked name tag. Now after you eat this, you'll get the namer thing effect. So if you click anything, it will name them. So this thing now has a name. It doesn't display as any characters because it doesn't have any characters. So if you want to name something and not have it have an actual name that pops up, that's a great way. Next one we have the cooked minecart with TNT. So if you eat this, it gives you a freaking troll effect. Now you can go over here and basically it gives you a one-time explosion effect. After it, the effect is gone. Now it does damage you and everything else around it, so you better be careful with that. But it's a nice thing to prank your friends with. Next one, cooked bowl. Now it's a very useful one to have on you when you're going on an adventure, because it's basically a trash can, so you can put your items in there and trash them. Now next one is the cooked slime ball. Now if I go ahead and eat this, which is kind of ironic, as you can see my screen is all green and I get jump boost. So you just get jump boost from that, you get the slimy effect, which means your screen is green and you have jump boost 2 or 3. Now, next one is the cooked paper. If you eat it, you will get paperweight effect. So if there are any mobs, you can right click them and they will just get shoot out. It doesn't matter if it's a hostile mob, if it's a peaceful mob, you can just shoot them around and it can be really OP in PvP or PvE because it does work on players, and yeah, it can be really useful in sticky situations. Now next one is the cooked bone. When you eat it, you'll get the target practice effect, which means if you hit any mob, it will be frozen in place for the most part. It can move really slowly and basically can't hurt you if it's a hostile mob. The next one is the cooked clock. When you eat it, you get the daytime spending effect. If you press R on your keyboard, it will just skip some time. Just skip time, all the way through the night and back to the daytime. Now we have the cooked iron ingot. Now after eating this, you get the miner effect, which means you can mine things like stone or different types of ore, and it will mine out a big chunk. Now, as far as I can tell, it only works on blocks that can be broken by a pickaxe. So all sorts of different stone andesite, but it doesn't work on dirt or leaves or stuff like that. Now we have the cooked flint. So when you eat this, you'll get the gravely effect, which means if you hit any mob, it will spawn a falling gravel block on top of them. Now it can get suffocation damage from this, and from falling damage. So it can basically do a lot of damage if the mob stands still in one block. And if it's between 2 blocks, the gravel will usually disappear. But if you get it to land, it does a lot of damage. Next one is the cooked emerald. Now, when you eat it, you get 3 different effects: Battleman, Hero of the Village, and Village Threat. Battleman will start a raid if you're in a village. Hero of the Village means that villagers give you discounts on their sales, but the Village Threat means if you right click the ground, you can spawn a Vindicator Fang, I think it's called. So you can basically use these to damage mobs. It has a cooldown, you can't summon another one until this one's done the animation. Next one is cooked diamond. When you eat it, you will get the diamond plated effect. Now what this does is that basically mobs won't attack you. So if you spawn a husk, it just doesn't care. So it won't attack me as long as I have the diamond plated effect. It just can be turned really OP, making spawners or just going around exploring if you have extra diamond. Next is the cooked blaze rod. Now when you eat this, you get the instant smelt effect, which means if you have any raw food in your inventory, just right click the ground, shift right click the ground, you will be set on fire, but you can smelt your food instantly without using any coal or any fuel in the furnace, which is can be really useful just exploring, so you don't have to wait for the food to smell. Next one, we have cooked book. Now eating this won't do anything. Basically, you just keep eating it, and it doesn't even give you any hunger, so basically useless. Now we have cooked cobweb. Eating this will give you the spider person effect. So if you right click any mob, it will spawn a cobweb at their location. Now this cobweb won't go away until you break it, so it's just stuck there and basically a string bond. Next one is the cooked eye of ender. When you eat it, you get this stalker effect. If you press G on your keyboard, it will teleport you to World Spawn, which is right there for now. So you can just use this to get out of sticky situations or any sort of threat. Next is the cooked charcoal effect, or the item. When you eat it, you get the instant smelt effect. It's like the braze rod, but this time it's for ores when you mine them. So if you come down here and mine iron ore, it will give you an iron ingot. Same with gold or any other ore. Next one is the cooked glass bottle. Now, this one is a weird one. If you eat it, you will get a glass shard. Now, if you hit a mob with this, as you can see, I just took 5 hearts of damage. The mob takes basically half of their HP as well. So this pig has now half their HP, and so do I. But it doesn't go below that, so if I keep eating these glass bottles, you can see it goes all the way up, all the way down to half my HP, but it doesn't go lower. So you basically trade half of your life for half of your enemies. Next one is the cooked honeycomb. Now, if you eat it, you'll get the lazy bee effect. And what that means is that you cannot place down blocks at all. So you basically can't place down anything. You can break stuff, but as I said, you can place them back. Now in a server, if you hit another player, you will transfer this effect to them. Now, as it said in the mod description, there is an item to remove this effect, but it's a secret item, so I couldn't find it either, so I don't know what it is. The next one is the cooked ink sac. Now, this one is mostly a multiplayer one as well. It means when you right click mobs, they will get the blindness effect. And it works with players as well, so if you're in a multiplayer server, you can just blind your friends doing this. Now we're down to the last 2. So we have the cooked rotten flesh and cooked gunpowder. Now if I go ahead and eat this one, I get the really hungry effect. And if I go to a mob and just right click them, yeah,
Creeper.
this is what it does.
Oh man.
Alright, now that that's gone, you only have the cooked gunpowder left. So if you eat this, you will get the explosive diarrhea effect, which is exactly what it does. Yep. And that was everything for the Kinda Hungry mod. Now there will be a link in the description to download this mod if you want. And yep, see you later. Bye.